All right, there we go. Perfectamundo. All right. Down. Let's see when people are talking at me. Oh, that's funny. I have a manual ad breaks button. I could just be obnoxious. You get an ad. You get an ad. You get an ad. I think that'd be cruel and unusual and not even worth the damn money. Pull up Reaper. Let's go down the laundry list. I have not touched this all week, so I need to do some settings that I want to configure. Open recent project. Crucible 2. Open. Yo, Rano. Yo, Goofy. Good to see you. That is, I think that's a Hertz. Okay. So I have a handful of things that I need to configure to make my life a little easier while we kind of fiddle around today. One, I want to change the middle mouse click to drag. So bear with me while we get started. I have to do things I didn't do as homework previously. Okay, it's range view, middle drag. Default action should be is that not an option? Hang on. Middle drag. Should be hand scroll. Oh wait, let me see if that's what I want. Yeah. Okay, so I just need to swap that. So, boop 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 boop. We're going to arrange view, middle drag, default action, and this one should be hand scroll. Yeah, sweet. Have you checked the script I sent on Discord? Don't have to install it. Just take a look. Looks dope. I have not. Oh, hang on. I gotta change my screen. Is that me? There we go. And let me not dox you quick. Do you care? But if you do, talk about this track wiring one. Let me pull that up. Hey. I vaguely remember looking at this. So uses SWS scripts, repack, hacky machines loader. Oh, I like that. So you can kind of have a really visual representation of your stuff. Interesting. That's actually pretty cool. I know it's not in the cards for a while, but I feel like that Reaper really needs to what is it that they need to do? They need to get GPU accelerated rendering into Reaper. I know that's a big ask. I know that that's probably a someday thing, but that would be really nice to have because I noticed that some parts of the interface allow you to change the refresh rate to like 60 to 100 hertz, which is awesome. Like the volume on the whatever you call it on the left there. Rack view, I don't know. Technically, Reaper already has a flow chart of your whole track wiring. It's called track wiring, but it lacks a lot. Yeah, I have seen it, and it's more so like it's good for visual representation, but interfacing with it's kind of messy. What's up, Zanoob? What's up? Yes, I did switch to Brave. So far, I like it. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm not surprised that it's like likely coming for because everything's going GPU rendered anyway because GPUs are reasonably cheap and especially for DAWs, if we offload CPU power processing off to the GPU for visuals and shit, you get a nice smooth experience while also making more room for your serial signal processing. So, okay, so drag middle mouse done. I need to figure. Okay, note for to self. I need to get a backup of all of my Reaper shit. So I don't know how it's organized in the folder structure, but I do need to go back and figure out how to back up my preferences, back up all of the repositories that I've downloaded and subscribed to, and back up. I mean, at that point, I'll have figured out backup projects. But I want to basically get everything that makes this version of Reaper the way it is and be able to clone it somewhere somewhere else. So there is an export config button. Cool. I'm not looking at it right this second, but it's just a note to self. So if I scroll, right, so now I want to change my scroll to vertical, which again, the middle mouse is nice to have for dragging, but okie dokie. Yeah, sorry guys, we're not starting with like cool epic beats, bro. This is me not thinking. Mouse? No, mouse modifier. What? Where the hell's scroll? Well, that feels stupid. Is it just under mouse? No. I figured it'd be a mouse modifier. What in darnation? Maybe it's not. Okay, maybe it's just media item. No. I will try themes at some point. I'm more trying to get comfortable in the default environment to kind of see. Oh, under actions, navigation. Okay, so not mouse modifiers. Oh, actions. Oh, that just took me back to what I was looking at. The EYE sample in Thunderground. It introduced me to the game and I've been enjoying it lately. Oh, here we go. What was it? Navigation? Well, it's not under this. Scroll. Let me see if it can scroll. Mouse wheel. Let me see that. Hmm. The action list contains everything Reaper can do. Yeah, which is awesome, except for the fact that it is like fucking unending. I again love this piece of software for its feature richness, but I almost want to call it feature dense. This is like how many thousands of actions are crammed in here? A couple at least. It's a lot. Yeah, Reaper Tips did have one. There was a couple videos that you had sent. Damn it, I thought I'd seen it in here. Okay, so that's just on the list. Scroll for vertical, shift scroll for horizontal, theme shopping. Ah, and then I have to look that up because that's not going to be easy. I want to be able to double click on a MIDI section. So if I have MIDI, I want to be able to just right click or shift click or whatever. I want to be able to quickly just insert a MIDI clip, which right now I have to go up, insert new MIDI item. I want to have that as like a default kind of thing, but I'll look that up. Yeah, I changed the middle mouse one. We just did that. So that's good. Okay. So export configs. If you're looking to change for it's under action. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. This again, don't want to bore the shit out of the stream with like some hard stuff, but at least this one I can work with for now. And then I'll just look up the other. All right, so today, control plus left click. Well, there you go. Ta-da! I'm just gonna write that down. See, okay, just a point of remind the universe why UX is important. If I right click in a space, I should see most, if not all, of the actions that I can complete in a context menu. I should have seen add MIDI clip, and it should have been control click. That would have been real easy to do, but that's okay. Just being grumpy. What's up, Mr. Robot? You're gonna assign a hotkey. Yeah, I kind of figured that'd be another action list. And I'm assuming when I use the action list, if I set shortcuts here, then those are global and now they're set forever, and I can export that as part of my config setup. So all the crazy shit I end up figuring out here with macros or whatever, I can export that out. Right. So what were we fiddling with last week or 2 weeks ago? Shit. That sounds awesome. Okay, note. I need to find visual adjustments for these. No, that's a color thing. Can I change the color here? Because that blue is just really hard to read. I know, I mean, I guarantee it is. I'm just dumb. No, that's MIDI CC. Okay, not seeing it. Just deal with it today. Let me put automation link colors are under theme development menu. Okay. So. And I figured what will happen is when I get to theme shopping, I'll end up picking something that just looks pretty. The Reaper Tips theme, it's upgraded default theme. Yeah, figured. What's up, Simon? Oops. By the way, I love that you can just mute and unmute clips here and go dropping effects on things like right away. Open up their context menus. That's pretty nice. Although, what does that mean? If I have effects here, doesn't take me there. Does that mean that clips have their own, you can drop an effects thing onto a clip and only on that clip? Let's go. Okay, what be just let me get a chorus. Yeah, just throw one of these on there. Okay, that didn't do what I thought it would do. Interesting. Oh man, thanks, Simon. You know you don't have to do that. Not to poke fun, but I'd rather a mix of people would do that. But that's okay. Thank you, buddy. Always appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, it should be okay. Was that just a bad routing? Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. We'll throw on reverberate. Okay, no dry, wet. So how does the routing work here? That's just the channel. What about the clip? Because if I can just toss in effects right on one particular clip and none of the others, that's really cool. But I'm not getting any audio out, which tells me that the channel routing doesn't work. The routing matrix, yeah, let me see. Oh, I don't want it snapped. Can I undock this? There we go. We're in phase plant 28. Actually, let's go to the wiring. Yeah, this I'm not. Golly, the MIDI drums. Yeah. So when I remember when I was bitching about how I needed a lot of routing to work my whole drum configuration up. Yeah. Because not only is the drums MIDI going to the instrument, it's going to all of the sidechain buses for the MIDI triggered ducking. Andy landed. Yo, Locknar the goat. Finally, YouTube put something interesting in my feed. Hey. Yeah, I'm here every Monday and Friday, except for this last Monday because I was at the movies and I was super late. I did see Furiosa. I liked it. It is not quite as good as Fury Road because I think that's almost perfect. But boy, was it a really fun watch. Yeah, so I can't see the MIDI items effects in there, but I need to look that. Okay, that can be a very potent feature because oh wait, can I do the options? It didn't make much money, but honestly, neither did the original, and it went on to do okay. So I don't think that's terribly important for Furiosa to have done well. It was short by like $10 million on opening weekend, but the first one, Fury Road, made 40 million on opening weekend. So whatever. I think people are like doomers when it comes to movies. Like the industry is dying. It's like I mean it is because it's too expensive, but price will go down. So all right, let me mute this clip. Put that together. Oh, it's funny. I have one friend that's been teasing me about this whole Reaper switch because he's like, dude, just use Ableton. Quit trying so hard. In all fairness, he does have a point. I used to use Ableton for about, shoot, how long would that have been? 2007 or 8. So then I used Ableton up until 2 years ago, right? Was it last summer that I started with Bitwig? That's right, wasn't it? Um. Oh yeah, those plushies that they sell, those are all pretty. Those take a while to develop, but that's okay. That's not too bad. I did grab the SWS extension, but I haven't used much of it yet. That's pretty cool. I'll keep that in my schedule. Mondays and Fridays, I'll be busy. I see you're learning a new DAW. That's interesting. Might learn it along. Yeah, certainly trying. Like I was saying, I used Ableton for about um yeah, so 2008 up until 2 years ago. So that would have been to 12. Sheesh, fucking long ass time. 16 years or so? That doesn't sound right. Am I that old? No. Anyway, 10 to 12, 13 years or so. And Ableton's ethos, they made a great program. And I've got people, it's the first time I've had people bitching in my shorts that I posted, but they're like, oh, you're complaining about Ableton, unfollow or whatever. And it's not that Ableton's bad. It's that after using it for so long, I found where its ethos really butts up against what's needed for a music producer. If you are a performer and you're doing shit like Glitch Mob and whatever, who gives a shit? Then you don't need it to be a production workhorse. You need it to be functional and it functioning for live. They are dead set on being designed for that purpose and not expanding any of their production features. And I noticed that shift from 7 to 9 had a lot of really nice workflow features added. And then from 9 to 12, they really didn't add a lot that felt useful and workflow oriented and customizable. All that stuff kind of fell to the wayside. And I would guess for two reasons. One, they really were interested in making the push standalone hardware. That worked. And then two, it's one of those things where Max for Live got added. So when Max for Live got added, it's like, oh, well, you can make whatever you need to make in this system, except for the fact that Max for Live and Max is really clunky and unintuitive and not well distributed like training material. So like you really got to go digging for like a class or something to learn how to program in that to then make useful tools for Ableton. Which it's super powerful because it's its own computational engine that you can then build whatever the hell you need, but it's completely unintuitive. So I feel like Ableton has kind of fallen to the wayside as like a production workhorse. Even if it's easier to approach, it doesn't have the meat on the bones for like long-term production needs in particular. And I think other softwares are continuing to iterate and grow and develop in that regard. And that's where Bitwig comes in because they're the new kid on the block with a bunch of former Ableton devs. So I feel, and they seem more into developing the product over the course of every year through their kind of their release schedule. You have major releases, which are the big numbered releases, happen once every couple of years. I mean, they're only on version 5 now. Then they have their .x, so 5.x. Those releases are pretty substantial releases, and they do those throughout the year. And then all of the x.x or x.y, those Y releases are more, bug fixes and little quality of life changes and whatever else. But they're consistently updating and developing the product. Meanwhile, Ableton comes out with a revision every like year or two, and the last 3 have been completely uninteresting. And any Ableton users out there will know that it's been a bogged down mess. It gets slower every iteration. the interface is not getting any faster. There's performance issues that have been lingering, and there's some kind of technical debt that no one's talking about over there. And you'll tell me, Devin, you're full of shit. It's like, I stress test these things because the way I produce is nightmarish. I load up a fuckload of plugins. I load up a ton of stuff, a lot of automation, no flattening. I built a beast of a machine so I could do that, and it doesn't handle those heavy workloads very well. So yeah, Bitwig is like, I see that as having a better development cycle for the future than something like Ableton, where it's very rigid in its constraints. And then somebody tried to mention that Pro Tools is useful, and I'm like, dude, Pro Tools is used by studio people for recording because Avid has their claws in everything. And they've that software, nobody likes using that software. You went to school for audio engineering, you learned how to use it, and you got a job at the recording studio that has you use it. I haven't heard very many good things. I think the only person that says nice things about it is this one producer with a podcast. It's Devin. Help me, Devin. Or help me. Is he Devon? Devin or Devon? I don't know how he pronounces it. Devon. So he is and he's a legit producer. It's him and a few of his friends. They do a lot of hip hop, and he's a Pro Tools guy. Fair enough. But people always kind of give him a hard time for the Pro Tools shit. So I found that kind of funny. Oh, I'm missing all this stuff down here. I've missed all the conversation. Ableton was my first proper DAW. I was like 9 or 10. Most overrated DAW. It's basically Pro Tools of electronic producer world. Kind of true. Why are people trying to help Locknar? We have to have unhinged, goofy conversations in here. That is true. We do have those. But when I get, when I get on a tangent about tech, I'm just going to go over it. Yitalas, hello, just tuning in to wish you a wonderful day or evening. Thank you. Make that music, it's so hard. Reaper gets an update. Yeah, I see that their update schedule is pretty good. Again, I don't think this is like the Reaper currently, and this is coming from somebody with a lot of experience. Reaper does not have good onboarding. Reaper is made for people who know what they're already doing. I don't know if I ever will give them just download Reaper, download this config file, and start with Reaper. I just don't see that being an option. The same reason that 10 years ago, I'd never tell somebody to learn how to use Blender, because the way they did their interface back then, pre-2.7 or pre-3, one of the two, they had a major revision 4 or 5 years ago that was huge, and that made it intuitively usable, and then you can kind of learn on top of that. So far, Reaper has been an exercise in patience, the way that Blender used to be an exercise in patience. And it's like telling somebody to get onto Linux. It's like, oh man, Linux is great. I'm like, yeah, it is great. I had to do a fuckload of work to make this whole system work. And it's a lot of planning, and I had to already be good at Windows. I had to do some programming and how to deal with some configurations and other shit before I even tried to use Linux properly. Reaper will always be the DAW you'll probably get to in the end, but I don't know if they're going to ever get it to be the starter DAW. And it's evident in the user base. The people that use it tend to be more serious and more technically oriented than kind of the newbie people, because it is really hard to get on it. But usually people define intuitive as, excuse me, Rano. But usually people define intuitiveness with familiarity. Yes, but it's kind of if I have to dig for things too hard and it's not all in the same place all at the same time, it starts to get frustrating. And we do it differently here is so dumb. Middle mouse should have been like to scroll. Like, why is it the playhead? Why am I scrolling for the playhead? Oh, well, because 15 years ago, some guy who needed to edit clips, like audio editing. Actually, I should circle back around. The reason that Reaper is unintuitive for me is the familiarity comes from a recording environment. It's definitely designed by a dude that worked in a studio once upon a time who needed to cut tracks and do editing at a bay and like the things he wish he had when he was doing that. He was not a producer in the sense he's writing new music. He was probably editing a shitload of music first. And that's where a lot of the workflow stuff originated from. I bet you Reaper 1.0 had a lot of that. And now, as time goes on and things change, he's adding more stuff. It's supposition. I'm probably wrong. I'm making a wild guess without even knowing. Xlogic and Sony Vegas user. There you go. In perfect example, Vegas it's a video editor, so he is used to doing things in an interface that's all about made clips that need to be chopped and whatever. And doofuses like me don't do that much. We're MIDI junkies. We put MIDI notes down, we perform, we do automation, we sculpt, we craft, and that has its own proclivities. Even still, because this is so customizable, I'm not super worried about being like, I'll never be able to get this thing to work. It's like, no, I know I can get this to do whatever I need it to do in here. The question is, how do I facilitate that? What kind of things do I have to do? And sometimes you have to dig deep. And because I have to dig deep, I'm not going to tell somebody, Reaper's awesome. You should start with Reaper. Yeah, I think I still land on my choice of Fruity Loops. I know that that's kind of a particular way of production, but for what people are looking for as a new musician, they want to be able to make beats. And that's kind of just got the tools to do it right away. Comes with a huge sample library, as I remember. I'm assuming it still does. Comes with a bunch of synths that are perfectly adequate, and one very good one that is like, it's Harmer. I think they really should release that to the public again. I'd buy it because it looks cool. It's got very forgiving tools. The bus, the master bus has a clipper limiter on it. I don't know how it works, but I know it does because you never really had people pushing that thing like it was an analog piece of gear. It's now got, and I talked to people, it's now got like its own routing matrix that lets you route parameters from one to another to another. It always had good automation tools. It always had a good piano roll. And this is shit that I remember from when I was like a teenager, because I played with Fruity Loops back when I was like 14, 15, and I made a bunch of shit on it. And it was easy. So like for a 14, 15-year-old dork who doesn't know anything about anything yet, can kind of start figuring out how it works. I think, case in point, that was the easy one to start with. But once you learn FL, you would have a hard time learning any other DAW. Rano, I think you're right. But the truth is do you even need to learn another DAW afterward? I don't know. I think it's pretty feature complete. So it's like if you're there and it's working, probably don't need to worry about learning something else. My timer's been running for 146 hours, LOL. Timer for what? Let's see. Try to make a depression music of madness combat. I probably could. I mean, really, it'd be more trip hop with just sad chords and think a B-side. I'd probably do something like whatever that one was called, the B-side track. I mean, if you want to do recording or orchestral stuff, it sucks for both of those. Fair, but that's also a super niche thing, and at that point, you're probably stuck dealing with either somebody who brings a Reaper box with them with a huge mic setup on a massive outboard RME setup, or it's a studio that's already got the Avid shit plugged in everywhere, and you're already using Pro Tools for an orchestra. So, that's an ultra niche thing that only 36 people in the world have to deal with. However many fucking recording studios are out there, but for real, how many are you gonna have? Oh, there's a clock in Reaper. You can have it count how much time you've been spending it. Yeah. Uh, good kill. Good kill. Thank you. I was having a brain fart. Good kill B-side. I'd probably just write something like good kill again, and then that would be like that melancholic, madnessy theme thing. Well, Brando, you can't get into anything. You've already bit the bullet. You're a Reaper guy. You're in. They got you, and you've customized it to be perfect. So the first 2 years of like production flaming around are done, and now you're like cooking with fire. You're good. You don't need to learn anything else because this really does have everything you probably will ever need. But again, that's the uptime is hard. And for somebody who's like, hey man, I just want to start making beats and have fun. Fruity Loops, or they don't call it Fruity Loops anymore. God, I'm old. Anyway, what was I doing? I was getting distracted. We were talking shop, talk. All right, for both of these, are these separate? No. What? Oh, wait, I gotta glue these together. Okay, perfect. That probably needs to be lower. Rano, you're a Reaper fanboy. You are allowed to like your software. It's okay. I won't fault you for it. All right. Let's see. Let's unmute these. I hate those hats. Yeah, I definitely need some more room. Do some compression with makeup. It gives it a little bit better. All right, before I absolutely jack up these drums, I'm going to save this because I actually really like this as like a kind of default drum thing. So I'm going to just save the whole project just to have it on the side. Reaper is a cool name for any. I'll give you credit with that one. Reaper is probably the coolest name for any piece of music software out there. It's at least it's got strong vibes. Okay. Oh, do I already have a preset here? Hang on. Let me see. No, you know what? I'm gonna save this so I have a particular setting. So save project as. Okay, I'm gonna create a subdirectory. This is gonna be Nero drums setup. Okay. Perfect. That's better. All right. Yeah, I do know you can open in multiple tabs. Yeah. Trying to remix MC4, and after my remix, I'll keep it to myself. I'll try to remix No Escape, maybe. Yeah. Have at it. That shouldn't be too hard. There's not a ton to that track, so it should be pretty easy to do. That's better. That's less. It's the extra overheads gives it a little bit a nice bleed. Do I want shuffle or no shuffle? There are other compressors as well, and a lot more in repack. Oh, I know. I'm just I'm good. That was merely volume, just a quick volume boost without cranking my gain. Just bring up some of that lower level stuff. All right, what do we want to fiddle with today? Because I've got, well, after that rant, I do have about 30 minutes before I got to run. We've got dinner plans, but I'm going to move. Okay, let's see. Let's make a new section. I don't want to do, what do we have here? We had some like kind of melody stuff. Oh, I guess I never really finished whatever the hell that was. We'll dump that. Yes. I can't help myself sometimes. All right. What are we on? E? E. Do I want to be on E? For now. The global sampler script. Let's see. What you talking about, Willis? Reaper, global. Oh, does that let you kind of resample at any place on the timeline? Like, oh, I want this snippet. Isn't there bouncing for that though? Global sampler. Oh, that's okay. So it's a rolling shutter recorder that I can just grab shit while I'm jamming around. Okay, so instead of like worrying about takes or whatever, you just got to run it. I think I've seen something like this before. Noted. All right, that'll put that on the list and minimize you. Well, let's start with a familiar scale. What did I? Bitwig does not have the same scripting stuff that Reaper's got. And I think its MIDI features are, yeah, they're a little lacking. I was getting frustrated with their automation lanes, to be frank. That was what was killing me. Let me put that button. That's interesting. So I'm actually getting clipping up in my... Oh, I'm an idiot because it's in that bus. That's why it's clipping. Hurt. Why did that get bust in? Whatever. I probably screwed up. Yeah, let's turn that back on. Yep. I was wondering. There we go. All right, that was just a channel routing issue. Like a rinky-dink piano. Bitwig does have the best modulation stuff out there. Yeah, parameter modulation is absurd because you can route anything to anything. And to their credit, they've made it global. You have modulators you can throw on the master bus and then route it to anything underneath that chain. You have track level modulators that you can put on everything. It's pretty, again, I wouldn't be here trying this if they had fixed their interface on Linux and made it more performance friendly. But let's see. I always feel like they do some like kind of clowning around with some of these. Oh. Piano's probably not going to be the way to find this. Okay, well, you know what? Replace the samples. Oh. Simon, if you have 10,000 fans, I'm one of them. If you have 100 fans, I'm one of them. If you have 5, I'm one of them. Hey, man, I appreciate that. I certainly do. I always write something semi-happy. I need this to be like smoody. start with that. Let's turn off the. We don't need the arpeggiator. All right. I definitely don't want velocity sensitivity. All right, so let's mute. I do like that, being able to mute. Okay, and control click. Look at there! Okay. Oh, there we go. Actually. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of like a rolling dryer thing, but I think that could be kind of cool. I actually, for truth be told, as of right now, I do like the detached piano roll window because the ability to move it around is something. Every time that I had to dock the piano roll, I had to move everything out of the way to just blow it up so I could see what I'm doing, and so it's just kind of nice. Being routed to that. Oh, I turned that way down for some reason. I've had this one note on here now for like 4 months. Pad with Rezo, throat singing. I was listening to it was one of these state of trance like podcasts broken up into an actual set like an album, and I'd have to dig it up because I'm bad with track names. But there was a great little resonant pad, and I'm thinking I should try to make something like that. So let's go. Give it the ever so slightest motion. It'll be unpredictable. Give it a little bit of this, just like a couple cents, right? Not much, and then like a little bit. Throw a limiter on it. So then we can really just kind of push it like tape. They do have a shaper table now, but I don't really want that. Actually, would this be a good time to see how well, oops. Okay, there's one I want. Anytime I am opening a new instrument, I want to default to this view. So I need to get to the effects view by default. FX by default. Because really what I give a shit about is being able to see all of my chain plugins in order as soon as I'm like there. Media update frequency. White Hank says hi. Hello, White Hank. Oh, sorry, Rano. I think you're talking about the audio meters not being GPU accelerated. You can increase the quality and responsiveness from the meters in the preference. Yes, you can. It is the only thing that you can change for that performance. And I only mention this because I've noticed with a lot of the JSFX stuff, anything that's an interface in there, they don't have variable refresh rates, as far as I can tell. They all seem kind of choppy, locked in around like 40 frames per second, maybe even 30. So unclear if that's because they can't be GPU rendered and those are all being calculated and pseudo compiled at runtime, but that's where I noticed that there wasn't GPU accelerated stuff. And there's some other places that it seems a little chunky, like zooming in here, right? You can see the playhead really choppy. Shift F to open effects browser. That's the browser's fine. It's that when I add a plugin, I want it to start docked. So that's more of a preferences thing, less of a hotkey thing. Because then I have to close it before it goes here. And it's like, I want to open these up into Windows after the fact, not starting. And I'm not sure what the setting is for that. We want clean tape. Give it a little bit of warmth. Might be a little too hot. Make sure I'm not clipping. Yeah, good. Oh, click drag, yay! He did it. Context menu, click drag. You should have that. Dear universe. Let's glue you. Up to BD. I thought I changed that. Should be BA. Oh, I probably didn't save it. That's easier to hear. Why? I know that's stupid, but like that's the first time a DAW has low, high, 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 low, high, high, high. It's like the weirdest default that I've heard. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. It's like backwards. Who does that? Who does that? Them, because they want to be different or something. Ah! Oh, I'm soloed. Let me just cheat. All right, what is my raise by an octave? Is that an option? Shift? We're gonna do some guessing. No. Oh, wait, shift control, sorry. Nope. Nope. Damn it! The action to see the effects chain of a track is called view effects change for current last touch track under actions. All right, noted. Again, that one I don't necessarily want a hotkey. I need to see. Question: are actions only settable to hotkeys, or can they be set as preferences for something else? It's under action list. Of course it is. Everything's a fucking action. Octave. Notes. Okay, so I have to add stuff like my own hotkeys for things, which is fine. So Alt Shift up? No. Notate, no. Move. Numpad 8? Boo. Numpad 2, boo. Yeah, you know what? It's on me. I have, I don't know if you can see this. I have a 60% keyboard. My next one will have a numpad and arrow keys because it's just easier to have stuff. And then this thing, once Reaper has some of its stuff set up, or not Reaper, sorry. Once OBS on Linux has some global hotkeys, I'm going to use this as my camera changer, so I can do fun things there. But it's changeable. It's changeable. Yeah, 60% means that it doesn't have the numpad or arrow keys. I think 75% means it has the arrow keys but not numpad. Full size is 100%, and I think there's some other kind of weird ones in the mechanical keyboard world. I'm not shopping right this second, but one of the things I want to do, again, welcome to the world of open source. I want to find keyboards that are officially supported by OpenRGB, so that when I buy it, it's the only RGB controlled keyboard I ever need to buy again. Because GMMK, their software is Windows proprietary, so I couldn't go and configure it. Not that it matters. I don't need Rainbow Vomit, but it's a nice to have. And all right, well, what we're gonna do here quick is I did want to view. Where was that one option where I could see all MIDI tracks at once if I select? I know it was an option. I could see, like, over here, I could see everything selected. Yes, there we go. So, boom, boom. We'll keep it in F for now. I think that's a pretty safe place for it to be. Okay, we're gonna save this for now. I can kind of get it. We're getting some ideas flowing here. These would never play at the same time. Oh, that's the old one. You should splash some colors on those tracks. I should, but I'm not going to. I will eventually. There, I did it for you. I set a color. I bet you it does. I do need to fix those hi-hats. Those are going to drive me crazy. They sound really flat. But generally speaking, I'm getting a little bit more familiar here. I've got some more notes for things I got to look up later. I definitely need to keep fucking with these drums because they don't sound right. Let's see. Anyways, I'm going to continue art. Safe travels. Good to see you. Yeah, I got to get going. We have dinner plans tonight, so I'm going to run out. Nothing really to announce. It's going to be a lot of me working in Reaper here for the next month, and hopefully we have a track finished by then. And then that's kind of the question is, was it worth learning, and do I keep at it? Bitwig, I'm going to open up only because, one, there's a project that and I think you guys heard it. It was Back to the Lab again. I never finished it, and I think that's kind of almost ready to release. So if I go back to it and make some tweaks, I can check out. Bitwig's got a graphics update that I'm really curious if it's going to fix my buggy problems. If it does, then I'll go fix that track. So we might be opening that up in like June. But yeah, good hanging. Thank you, Rano, once again for all your tips and suggestions. Thanks everybody for coming. Like, comment, subscribe. More importantly, the big one, I know this is stupid. Grab some music that you like, put it into a playlist on Spotify, and add my music to that playlist. That goes a long way for stupid algorithm stuff. So try to do that if you can. If you haven't picked it up already, The Afters, the next tapes, The Actors is out. Go pick up a download off of SoundCloud. And that's about it. The only other thing is the Madness guys finished their workshop update. So if you haven't checked that out, I'd say go support the game. Go check it out. They put a lot of work into it. I'm not getting paid for it anymore, but they put a lot of work into the workshop. So go check it out. They're killing it. Long-term support.